Frak, this podcast, come and listen to us talk about Battlestar Galactica. It's a show that we're talking about. All right, ready?
Yep. Great. I get hiccups right when we start. Great. Terrific.
Keep that in. Hello, interwebs, and welcome to the Frak This podcast. I am your hiccuping host, Jesse Gender, and I am joined as always by...
It's Vera trying very hard not to hiccup into the microphone. Hopefully it'll pass quickly.
See, now you have to keep it in.
Fuck you.
How you doing, Vera?
I'm doing okay. Took down Christmas today.
Oh, all of it? Wow. Doing your trans work early. You know, destroying the institution of Christmas. Wow.
Yeah, whole thing's gone. Hope everybody had fun with it while it lasted.
Killed Santa.
Yeah, no, just taking all the decorations down and packing the tree away and
nice,
and all that, because no, I don't get a live tree.
We have this is actually the first year we bought an actual fake tree, but like a full-size tree. So it was actually kind of nice.
Yeah, no, like the one I have, it's like in 3 pieces. I have to assemble it every year, but it actually looks really good. We've had it for a while. But also, like, I get my fix of real tree because it's still tradition with Kiddo's mother that, like, as a family we all go out and find that tree and help put it together at their mother's house. So, like, I'm still involved in that. I get my fix of a real tree there. I'm like, I don't need to deal with this twice.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I honestly, I've always had fake trees growing up. I've never, I don't think I've ever had a real tree for Christmas. We've always had a fake one, and that's fine with me. I mean, the holiday itself is fairly artificial in many ways, so I feel like a fake tree works.
It's kind of fitting, isn't it?
Yeah. To be fair, though, I am a very Christmassy person. Like,
yes,
Erin,
I've noticed that.
Yeah, Erin, my partner, is very much not. Like, she has no real sentimentality towards Christmas at all. And I am a very Christmassy person. I like Christmas. I like the aesthetic of Christmas. Like, not really about the Jesus-y stuff. The whole point. But, like, I like the Christmas, the music, all that stuff. It was a good. So I kind of went all out in our house. It was a good time.
See, like, if I'm being honest, I would really like for the lights to be decoupled
from
Christmas, because I'd like the lights to stay around longer. I don't mean like the lights in the shape of Christmas trees, but just like the white lights around, wrapped around the trees on the street, or honestly, like, aesthetically and just the soft glow of it. There's a part of me that could go like, I wouldn't mind keeping the tree up all year and just taking down the decorations and just having it lit. And because it's nice and it's pleasant and it's low light and it's cozy. But no, that's we tied the lights to the fucking holiday, and so
we can change it.
We can
change it. We can be queer it. We don't have to follow the rules. We're queer people.
Yeah, I get that, but the problem is I don't think there's any way it doesn't look like I'm just too fucking lazy to put my decorations away.
Fair enough.
Which would not actually be the reason. Like,
yeah.
I am that kind of person, but that wouldn't actually be the reason. That would be a bonus.
Well, it'd be nice to be blinded by the light every so often. But speaking of blinded by the light, we're talking about the comments from the episode The Passage from 2 weeks ago, which listeners may recall was the episode in which Vera and I had a conversation about how Vera did not know the song Blinded by the Light, which, again, I am still shocked by.
I don't know this. Like, I went back after I edited that. fucking episode. I went back and I listened to the thing. I'm like, I don't know this fucking song.
Well,
I've
I
never
like
heard this song.
it was such a thing as we've had this conversation, but such a thing as a kid because I just remember it's like revved. I thought it was like revved up like a douche, which is not. It's like shoved up like a deuce or whatever. I forget exactly what it is, but like it always had the word douche in it, so it was like a song that a bunch of us kids remember, and it was regularly on the radio. And you know who agrees with me? Most people in the comments because CMM Osher 8035 says I am the same age as Vera, and I remember the Manfred Mann version being all over the radio as a kid. It's also on classic radio stations to the point of tedium.
Okay. I think I actually think I've spotted the problem.
Uh-huh.
It sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
What it sounds like is this was something that was very big at the time, but has not largely carried forward as like part of the 80s. Can't like I understand they said it's on classic rock. I don't listen to a lot of classic rock, but like the notion of like, oh, 80s song, it's not like part of the canon.
Maybe I would have thought it was part like if I had described it, I would have thought.
I'm trying to come up with a rational reason. The thing is, I didn't listen to the radio until the mid '90s.
That may do it, but it still feels like
my memory was either what my mother listened to, which is why I have a taste for James Taylor, like literally no one else my age, but. It was either what my mother listened to or the stuff that was just kind of canonized and had moved forward and like even if you didn't live in that time, everybody has heard. And I feel like it didn't make that second thing because
maybe, but it was done in the it had a cover by Bruce Springsteen in the 90s that was also fairly popular. So like I just think you're fucking weird. Cause yeah, Romler says, I'm around the same age as Vera, and the Bruce Springsteen version of Blinded Up by the Light was all over the place in my childhood. In fact, it's a common misconception that he originated the song precisely because of how obscure the original band is.
All right, y'all are gonna get off my ass about this, and here's why. Because you don't know the song either. Maybe you've heard it. Maybe you've heard the band. You have, I haven't. Fine. But this song that you're all coming at me for and being like, oh, how could anybody Vera's age not know this song? Everybody thinks it was Bruce Springsteen that originated it. Springsteen did a cover in the 90s. No, he didn't. It's his song. I checked. Springsteen did the original in 73. Manfred Mann's Earth Band, or whatever the hell it is, didn't cover it until 77. Maybe it was playing on the radio when I was a kid. I don't know. I wasn't listening. But my point here is, y'all don't know nearly as much about this song either, so get off my ass. And with that, we return you to your regularly scheduled podcast.
I don't know what to tell you people. I will say this. Somebody on my Patreon called me out for not knowing, well, technically not, it wasn't a case of not knowing the band, but I did get called out and said, oh no, you've definitely heard of what's his fucking name? Manfred Mann.
Manfred Mann. Manfred Mann. Yeah,
Manfred Mann. He's like, you have definitely heard of Manfred Mann because he did Do Wah Diddy, which is like that.
Do Wah Diddy. Yeah.
Or rather, did a cover of it, and his version is the version that everybody remembers. Although, and so like now, for instance, that's a song that's part of like the decade canon. That song is 60s canon. We all know that even if we weren't then. But two things in my defense about that. One, I never knew the name of who sang that, although I did know that song. I'll cop to that. I have heard this guy sing before. And secondly, that was done under just Manfred Mann, not Manfred Mann's whatever the fuck.
Earth Bar, I think is Earth Band. Manfred Mann's Earth Band is the name.
Yeah, it wouldn't become that until later.
I don't know what to tell you. Hell,
I don't know what to tell any of you.
There's an episode of Stargate named after it. Like it's a thing. It's a thing, Vera. I think you're just wrong. You're wrong. Your tastes are wrong. Your awareness of knowledge is wrong. Your conception of the universe is wrong.
Explain to me how it is wrong to simply not be aware of something. Like, I'm not giving an opinion on the song. Yeah. I just don't fucking know it.
Which is wrong. Uh, all right. Well, a couple other comments I will say about the song.
Ugh.
Uh, S. Jace's Games says, I'm not immune to the emotional manipulation at the end of this episode. It always makes me cry, which is Cat dying. Even
Uh,
listening to Jesse relate to it, I started to cry. But yeah, I wish we got a view into Cat's personal life before dying. That it was literally anything else. Hell, anything that was thematically more interesting. So, yep. Let's see. Unless 255AD says, unless they literally have no food whatsoever, I found it kind of ridiculous they're not giving the pilots extra rations, like given everyone's lives depend on them being able to do their jobs. Which is like fair. So.
yeah. I mean, like my counter to that would be, um, they're throwing this whole plan together incredibly quickly.
So it's hard to even maneuver the food to them.
Yeah, it's probably difficult to redistribute it. Like it's not like they knew they were gonna need the pilots
Mm-hmm.
this, you know,
This much.
at in this way. And like also
And then it's like, then
um
if you do maneuver it to give it to the pilots, then it's like, then you're taking away from civilians, which might cause riots. Da, da, da,
there's
da.
that, but also like just practically, like it's not like they could take the time to eat, digest, get back to their regular metabolism and then do the mission. They had to do it now, and I don't think they would have been more effective,
Yeah, if they were vomiting up more food.
stuffed to the brim.
Yeah, yeah. And then one of the ones that I will say, Knit is fine says, I love the part where Jesse tries to gaslight Vera into thinking anyone has ever heard of that song and band. But then there is a response to that that says, the Arcade Master says, it's actually kind of surprising that anyone over 30 wouldn't have heard that song at some point. It's been an earworm in American culture for decades. LOL.
Never heard this fucking thing. Like
Well,
I truly feel like you are all gaslighting me at this point. I feel like you orchestrated this thing. You planted a fake Wikipedia article. Like this.
I
this
hired a
feels,
band and
this,
Bruce Springsteen.
this feels targeted.
Well, it is. It is. Well, you know what happens when you're blinded by the light? That some people sign for the Rapture. And speaking of, we're talking about the episode Rapture today, the second part of the two-parter that began with Eye of Jupiter to get more stupider. That was not the worst transition I've done in the world. That was halfway decent.
No, but like one good.
Wasn't good. Wasn't the worst. We're grading on a curve here. All right, let us get into our recap of the episode. We start off basically right where we left off with the Galactica, with Adama prepping the nukes, getting them all lined up and ready to go. Over on the base star, we have the Cylons argue to recall the Raiders. I did find it weird that Cavill agrees with this. Yeah, he says we can't afford to lose everything, and not at
Which
this
is
point.
a complete 180
Yes.
from what he said at like last episode. And like we're remembering that partially because we noted that it was nice that he was the one person making an argument
Yeah.
that was, that basically acknowledged like we are not on the same time scale as them. And then all of a sudden we start this episode and he's in agreement, like, no, we can't risk it. I'm like, fucking when?
Yeah, it was weird. What I will say, and this is pseudo spoilery, but not really. Knowing more about Cavill that comes out later, I can see an argument for why he would make that shift here. There is actually a reason I think is pretty reasonable to assume, but like in the episode, it makes no fucking sense. And
Yeah,
it's
no,
not, and
it's
it
out
doesn't
of
play as,
nowhere.
and it doesn't play as like a hint. It just feels like a weird thing that the episode did. Like again, I can like knowing his motivations later on, I can justify it, but I don't think that was intended by this scene. Is what I'm
Yeah,
trying to
no,
say.
well, what this feels like is hopefully since it's been a week since viewers saw this, they don't remember.
Yeah, it's really weird and it's strange. Again, like I said, it in the canonicity of the universe, knowing where it goes, I could, and maybe if you remember this, if we put a pin in it, remember I'll explain what I think his reasoning is. Maybe I'll say it in this spoiler minute. But like otherwise, it makes no goddamn sense. Anyways, the Deanna that is on the I forget her model number, but the Deanna that is on the base star, who is not specifically not the Deanna who is, wanting to see the final five and has been like killing herself over and over and over again, doesn't want to. And she sort of argues, and they basically the Silence go, no, the decision is made. The Raiders should be recalled. They do that, except for one still goes en route to the planet, the one with Baltar and Deanna on it, and randomly another Cavill, as we'll randomly learn
Yeah,
later
who
on.
like gets revealed as even being on it like weirdly late. Because
Yeah.
like in this scene they reference like Deanna and Baltar, and I'm like, and a Cavill for some fucking reason.
Yeah, it's odd. It's weird. Uh, anyways, she decides not to recall that one, and Deanna basically says Adama won't launch the nukes over just one ship, but they said that's not the point. They're angry that she disobeyed their decision.
Yeah, because it was consulted, the conclusion was met, and she didn't listen.
Mm-hmm.
That said, like I actually like this as a compromise for dealing with the situation, because
Mm-hmm.
like part of why I don't like cliffhangers is because 9 times out of 10 they just immediately resolve. And technically this one does, but it actually has some nuance to it. It's not just a case of, oh, never mind that thing we just threatened.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is actually like, okay, he called our bluff, but we're going to reduce the threat that we pose and use that to call his bluff.
Mm-hmm. No, it's kind of an interesting way to conclude it. I did like it.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting dynamic way to deal with getting out of the cliffhanger. One of the better cliffhanger resolutions I've seen in a while, actually.
Yeah, it's actually really solid. Deanna then leaves the room, and the Cavill that was there said that is not a good sign. We may have to do something about this sooner rather than later. To the rest of the
Now, it's very interesting to me because I didn't write down her lines, but like the things that she says, like there's an emphasis on specifically the Deanna on there, like it's important that she gets there. It's interesting that, and look, obviously we've seen a fair amount of uniformity in
across.
terms of personalities for the same models, but we have also seen a fair amount of divergence, specifically with Caprica, with Boomer, with Athena.
Mm-hmm.
So we know they're not like, while they might have the same base personality, they're not always on the same page. This is odd because this Deanna is behaving, it's not quite to hive mind levels, but it is almost like not only is it the same personality, it's almost like she has the same information and is having the same thought processes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not necessarily calling that as a fault, but I am noting the shit out of it because either it's a step towards something interesting, or it's just something that they wrote this time because they fucking forgot how their own shit worked.
We shall see. We then jump also down to the planet during all of this. And we get a resolution to the Anders and Apollo situation. Which is, as we recall, there was a standoff there where
it's funny. I didn't really count that as part of the cliffhanger because I didn't
care. Yeah, I didn't give a shit. But anyways, basically, Anders had a gun on him because he wanted to go after Starbuck. And Apollo said, like, Anders basically says, well, what are you gonna do? Follow me with a gun around? Because the only way I'm not going after Starbuck is if you do that. And Apollo says, all right, you'll have to do the same to me. And basically he calls D from her tactical position, which is the closest position to the downed Raptor, and orders her to attempt to rescue, even though there is minimal cover. So, love triangle.
God fucking damn it, man.
The
only person close enough is my wife, who I'm gonna send to get my girlfriend, who I would rather be my wife. Yeah, God, fuck. Yeah. Move on.
Mm-hmm. I don't find it to be the worst drama version. It's, let me put it this way. It's a for me personally, I don't love this love triangle. This is not the worst storyline to do with it, I guess is the way I would put it. Like, at least it's somewhat dramatically interesting beyond like, oh, I have feelings and I don't know what to do sort of thing.
I mean, it's
like putting like putting someone's life at risk, your own wife at risk for your girlfriend is at least somewhat interesting dramatic thing for me.
I guess. What it should immediately result in is as soon as they get back, she leaves him.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Except I
Well,
don't want to because I hate all this.
well, we then jump over to the Galactic again, and we have Hilo and Athena talking to each other. And Hilo is basically saying, like, look, I can fly us to the base ship ourselves. We can go rescue her, or like we can do that. We can find another way to do this. We sort of alluding to an option that he doesn't want to do that Athena very much wants to do. She's like, there is another way. He's like, don't ask me to do this. And she says, you're the strong one. Believed in us when no one else would. You know, and she's like, I'm begging you to find the courage to do this for both of us. And so he shoots her.
Yeah, which
Mm-hmm.
it's funny to me that that never occurred to me.
Yeah, to just like
Well,
have her download on the thing.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although technically they're fucking up their own rules again
Mm-hmm.
because like she resurrects directly onto the base star.
Mm-hmm. Which
What's what
there's no resurrection ship. Yeah, it's a good point.
there's no resurrection ship, and even if there was, shouldn't that be where she
Yeah,
except like I feel like they the thing was, I think arguably they've already been playing fast and loose with that, with some of the stuff they've been doing on the base star, except that this drew my attention to it. I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't thought about it because you're right. Like the notion of doing this to instantly end up over there is clever, but then I'm like, but that's not where you're supposed to end up.
Yeah.
And like it wasn't enough of a plot point for me to notice with like what Deanna was doing on the base star. Where technically they'd already broken it at that point.
Yeah, the only explanation that I could give, and this is me ad hocing an explanation, the show does not do this, is maybe they learned their lesson after they blew up the first resurrection ship and put some on the base star just as like a backup. It's been a year and change since then. So theoretically you could.
I guess, but
that's not explained in the show though.
But they have also gone out of their way to establish that the resurrection ships still exist.
Yes. So maybe it's just like we keep like, 5 of us on backup, or like one backup, back here just in case. Just if we do get shot and the resurrection ship's blown up. But for the most part, we'll go back to the resurrection ship.
I could buy that, except that is very much you trying to cover for their.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's like it's explainable, but it's definitely we're backseat fixing this. Anyways, we then cut to Athena being taken away in a body bag after the opening credits. And Adama and Rosalind are there with Hilo. And Rosalind is sort of upset. She's like, Sharon is downloading right now into a body over there. And Hilo's like, she begged me to do it. And Adama's point is like, well, she has important info, tactical information, and about like us and the situation, and how many people are down there and all of that. And Hilo's like, well, she won't betray us. And Adama's like, she may not have a choice. She'll get Hera and she'll come back is basically what Hilo is arguing. And Rosalind basically like goes at him and says, that's quite a leap of faith that you have in your wife. And I would say it was brave if it was only just you, but you put the entire fleet in jeopardy, which gets Hilo pissed off, rightfully, because he says, if you hadn't lied and stolen our baby in the first place, we wouldn't be here at all. Which I think fair.
Yeah, exceedingly.
Yes. And I do like during that scene that like Adama doesn't stop him from saying it. He just kind of grabs him from going closer to Rosalind in case he was like gonna get like up in her face and maybe push her or something like that. But he does let him say it, which I thought was a nice little acting choice. So
yeah, which good. Like I like Rosalind as a character, but and I'm not even saying she made the wrong call, but also like you don't get to pretend that this isn't partially your fault.
Yes. No, I just like Adama's reaction to it because it's just like it speaks to like it's a small way to show like he's standing firm and like you're not gonna go after like hit her or anything, but like she deserves this because he's probably a little pissed off of it too. So
yeah, she didn't tell him either, as we finally established.
But Rosalind then says, "Well, I certainly played my part, and I accept blame. And all of our lives are in the hands of Athena, and I hope she's worthy of the unconditional trust you both place in her." So very much like, well, I accept blame, but not really.
I accept responsibility in the way that means I in no way have to change my behavior.
Yeah, exactly, and it's mostly still your fault.
Mm.
Well, Athena does download over on the base star, and Caprica 6 is there. Um, and basically Athena says they wouldn't let me see my daughter, so my husband shot me. How's my daughter? And Caprica 6 says she's getting worse, and Athena says I want to see her. And Caprica 6 like, well, what's your plan? What are you doing? And Athena, we're supposed to wonder whether we trust her or not in this, but she says what they did to me, stealing my baby, telling me you was dead, you proved it. Harris, better safer here, and so am I.
Yeah.
So, we then jump down to the algae planet, where Apollo is planning the tactical mission. They find a choke point for the Cylons. They are doing guerrilla style, like Anders likes. And if they do like get pushed back from the choke point with the Cylons, they're gonna fall back in the mountains and wait for rescue. Is the plan.
Yep.
Deanna then, and a red shirt, decide to start going after the raptor, but as soon as they jump over a ridge, they get shot at, and oh no, the poor red shirt is killed.
Oh, that guy.
No.
Oh no.
Oh, sad face.
I mean, it would have kind of been darkly funny if D just got shot.
Just killed right there.
Just killed right there.
And like didn't even bother rescue. It would have. I actually would have found that more interesting. Not that I would have necessarily wanted D dead, but it's just would have been more interesting to be like she just dies and that she didn't even get a chance to rescue Starbuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you sent your wife to die.
Yeah.
She died trying to rescue your fucking girlfriend.
For nothing. Yeah.
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 Asshole.
Would have been more dramatically interesting. That's for damn sure. So
yeah. Although, to be fair, I think if they did that, I think we would have also.
We would have given them shit for killing a woman of color.
Yeah, like that's again just proving this entire storyline is awful and stupid, and they shouldn't have done it.
Yeah. yes, very much so.
Like, because if anyone were to go, oh, you'll just never be happy. You're right. I'm not, because it's a stupid plot that shouldn't exist.
Well, over at the Temple of the Eye, the chief is having no luck. He's getting more stupider while trying to find the Eye of Jupiter. He can't really find it.
Just not letting it go, are you?
No, it's funny to me. Stupider's just a funnier word to say, even though that's also not how you're supposed to say that sentence grammatically. Anyways, Apollo is also giving Chief shit to be like, get on it, find the Eye of Jupiter. We then have Baltar and Deanna standing on a green screen of the planet. It's the most green screen ass scene I've seen. But yes, they're standing in a green screen, and they're kind of having their vague prophecy conversation where Baltar's like, you're the anointed one to look on the final five. It is written you'll succeed. But Deanna's kind of worried about it because she says, well, to know the face of God is to know madness. The hybrid sees things that we can't conceive of, and she was driven mad. And Baltar's like, well, God will guide you to your destiny. But during this, Head 6 comes in and says, well, she's not the chosen one, you are.
Yeah.
So it's Baltar's the chosen one.
Mm-hmm.
Huzzah!
And also, Cavill is conspicuously
not there. Yeah, it's just like, there's no reference to, like, you mind listeners, if you don't rewatch the episode, there's no reference that a Cavill is here yet. Like, it's just the two of them, which makes sense, is what we've seen so far. Anyways.
It's what even gets referenced when, like, it's the ship that keeps going. What gets said is Deanna and Gaius on the, like, what? Hey.
Yeah.
It's a minor point, but what the fuck?
It's just weird. Anyways, we then see the military's like choke point action. The Cylons come in, they wait until they give the signal. Yeah.
So a couple of things about this.
We get a new talk about the CGI.
I am going to talk about the CGI. Before I talk about the CGI, we get a new slur, and interestingly, one that is recently seen popular usage again in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Clankers.
Yeah.
Which, if you're not in AI discourse, is a derogatory term for the AI systems.
Mm-hmm. We're bringing it back. We're bringing it back.
Hey,
Yeah, new slurs.
and then yes, the CGI.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the worst the Centurions have looked in a while.
Especially the one that's on the ground.
Yeah,
Like there's okay.
I think it's a combination of two things. One, it's broad daylight. It's like
yeah.
bright, but also it's also a heavily filtered image because like they're doing that thing where like, oh, make it seem like I don't know, the atmosphere results in the, you know, the whole thing seems like more white or more gray or more, you know, it's that kind of filter over the image. And that just makes them look even more not there and more like that's that's an animated GIF you slapped on top of your footage.
It just reminds me of Uzumaki, the PNG moving down the hill. Did you see that?
Oh, because that was the later episode. I only
Yeah.
watched the first one.
Yeah, it's the only one worth watching.
See, and I didn't even like that. So
yeah. I watched all four, and I enjoyed the first. I thought the animation was good in the first one. I got your point of like Junji Ito, you like to sit and watch, like you like to stare at a panel, so it's hard to watch it as like an anime.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy the first one. But apparently, after the first episode, the studio like took all of their funding, and like gave them funding for one episode to fund the other three.
Yeah.
So like the other three episodes, like the quality just dives hard.
I heard about that, but like it was because they took so damn long on the first one, and the studio said, no.
Yeah, the first one is gorgeous to look at in terms of its like the anime, like regardless of whether or not you think it's like worthwhile to adapt that manga.
It's not.
Yeah.
But yes,
But yeah,
it did
the quality
look
of animation
good
was good.
least.
Yes, the quality of animation was great. Anyways, yes, they have a whole battle with the Cylons. The Cylons are slightly pushed back, but they do have one man dead, and they have to pull back to the mountains. So that's essentially what happens. And there's wonderful, terrible CGI.
It's not quite Crusade Homunculus,
but it's
like
not.
Oh, that like I still think about that sometimes. Just how much it absolutely floors me that they. It's not even that they made it. I understand that was probably an expensive effect, especially for a show with that low budget, but that they showed it that much. Well, what?
They're proud. They were proud of their work, you know?
Oh.
All right. We then jump over to the fallen raptor with Starbuck. Her hands have been deeply burned, so she's in a lot of pain. But there's a tense moment where,
I actually kind of like the touch that she can't even get her gloves off.
Yes, they're like fused to her flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is ugh. I also will say, even though I knew exactly where it was going, I liked how it was filmed. Is that like she's looking at her hands and there's like a shadow that passes behind her. It's obviously D. So it's like kind of a false tense moment, but it was well shot. And so D comes in, gives her an injection to help with the pain, and says, "My husband ordered me to risk my life for yours. Bring Starbuck back to Apollo." So she's all pissy about it, understandably so.
I mean, I was gonna say like this. Look, there's a lot of bullshit with this whole setup. This is something to be pissy.
Oh yeah, no, D is 100% understandably pissed off. Like I'm on D's side here. Like, do not get me wrong. It's just predictable what the feeling is going to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyways, we then have Athena sees Hera for the first time, and there's Caprica Sixes there and Boomer. And Hera, you know, she has a moment with her kid, it's mommy, and so she like looks, and they have a weird biological essentialist mother moment where it's just like, oh, Hera recognizes her mother, even though you two are genetically exactly the same. Which like was weird to me because it was like that's some weird. The kid always knows their true mother bullshit. Like,
I'm not gonna argue that you're wrong. I didn't care. I noticed it. It didn't bother me just because it's so fucking like where that shit bothers me is when it feels like it is undermining an adoptive parent in favor of a biological one. That's where it'll actively piss me off, and this just isn't that.
I know. I generally just hate the idea of like kids are somehow genetically tied to their parents and have like there's some, you know, mystical force that connects them. You know what I mean? I always hate that weird. It's weird, like stuff. Like I'm not saying biological moms cannot have a very meaningful, deep relationship with a kid, but like that it's just so mystical that defies like even them having known each other at no point in their life. Like,
Yeah, because like it is worth noting, for all intents and purposes, Athena never even held this kid.
yes. So like that's where I sort of like get at it, because it kind of goes into that like mystifying of motherhood that conservatives all do all the fucking time.
I get you. I guess I'm just too used to it to be pissed off.
Yeah, I get it. It's let me put it this way. It is a trope. Like, yeah, you hate certain tropes. It's a trope that I am very much like, fuck off about.
Hey, look, given the laundry list of shit I hate on principle, I ain't gonna judge.
Yeah. This is by no means the most egregious version of that. It's just a thing that I personally dislike. Anyways, Boomer has a chip on her shoulder because she's basically like, you know, you can have her. I'm done with her. I believe human and Silence are meant. We're not meant to be together. We should go our separate ways now. I learned my lesson on New Caprica. So she's very much like, I'm fucking done with humans now. And Athena feels Hera's stomach, and her stomach is as hard as a rock. She probably has a blocked intestine, is what they think. And they do not have the facilities on the base star to help her, and so they need to take her back to Galactica, which Boomer does not want her to do. Because she's sort of like, oh, this was your plan all along. And so she threatens to snap Hera's neck. And Caprica comes in and punches Boomer in the face and then kills her, presumably to download somewhere else. Unless of course, Athena used the backup. If my theory is correct. But yeah, presumably Boomer downloaded somewhere else. But
I actually like that they touch on the idea that there isn't the means to help Hera here. Like the reason that's given is that Athena points out, like, nobody here really knows anything about infants. Like, you've never had to treat infants or any of that. And this wasn't brought up, but this would have been the point that I think would have been even cooler to make, which would have been, we don't have doctors here. We're like horses. We break a leg, you shoot them, and they just come back clean. So like we literally do not have medical care. I think it would have been a more interesting way to go.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna headcanon that.
Yeah, that's a good way to go, yeah. Well, anyways, Caprica leaves with Hera. They have a captured raptor, and Caprica says, I believe the future of the Cylons lies with this child. So we got our little savior baby. On the planet, the Cylons are closing in on Apollo and friends. The chief is still trying to decipher more glyphs, but he is ordered to blow the temple. And he's very reticent to do it. He's like, all right, everyone, drop what you're doing and get out, leave the gear. And he's like, he sort of whisperingly looks like, if only I had a bit more time before he heads out.
Yep.
So he couldn't do it. Then we have Starbuck and Dee again. They basically find out that the Raptor is fixable. There's only like one broken thing that they need to fix. So Dee has to do it. Starbuck's in a lot of pain. So she gets another injection, and there's only one left. So they have to save it for when they fly out. And Starbuck's like, I can't fly, especially when I'm hyped up on morphine. And then Starbuck says he won't cheat about Apollo. He's too honorable.
Okay, hold on. Let's not gloss over this. The fact that she says to Dee, he won't chick. He won't chick. He won't chick. He won't chick. He dude. He only dude. He won't chick. He will only dude. No, that he won't cheat. I just wrote down in all caps, but he did. Like, okay.
Wait, when did he cheat?
With her. Okay.
Oh yeah, I got. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Let's. All right. I understand, and trust me, I've had this conversation. Different people will have different lines on what is cheating. But what infuriates me is when something like a show or a movie presents cheating as if, well, it's definitely this line and nobody fucking questions it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fact that, first of all, it's such bullshit that Apollo's like, it's okay that you and I are fucking making out and I want to leave my wife for you as long as we don't have sex. Like, no, none of that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody is saying that, which is pissing me off. Like, yes, D is upset about it, but could I have someone clearly line out, like, stop kidding yourself that you aren't a cheater because you are.
Mm-hmm.
And fundamentally, before anybody, because I have a very clear line on this, cheating is very, very simple. And it's not about specific actions. There is no line that you can or should ever draw that says doing this action is always cheating or doing this action is never cheating. Cheating is fundamentally breaking the rules.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have broken the rules of your relationship, no matter what they are, you have cheated. If your relationship is such that it is against the understanding you have with your partner that you will not make out with other people and you do that, then you are cheating.
Mm-hmm.
If it is an understanding that I don't care what you do as long as you don't stick your dick into somebody else, cool, then that wouldn't be cheating.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to fucking, everybody just seems to be accepting, and the narrative just seems to be accepting, because like there's no pushback.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he won't cheat. Fucking what?
But only penis and vagina is cheating, Vera. I mean, if
Fuck off.
if two women have sex, that's not cheating.
Look, I have a lot of very strong feelings about the depictions of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And a big part of it is because so many things just fall back on bullshit that does not get questioned. It just gets regurgitated. And this is just one more instance of that.
Yep. I do not disagree. But yeah, they go into that and Starbucks like, I love Lee and hate Lee. I love Sam. I hate Sam. And blah, blah, blah. D slaps her and says, stay with it. Because like she kind of like fogs out a little bit too. And I'm sure D enjoyed the slap.
I'm sure she did.
Mm-hmm. We then have Chief meeting up with Apollo with the last of the wiring, but then at the same time, Deanna goes into the temple with Baltar and Cavill, who's randomly there
here now.
Yeah. They start disconnecting the bombs as fast as they can. The Chief can't do it, and Apollo, is like, "Come on, man, do it!" And he grabs it and pushes it, but it doesn't go off because Deanna and Cavill managed to get all of the bombs out.
I think I don't like the black and white dichotomy of that. I think it would have been interesting if like one or two went off and like it weakened the structure, but like it didn't blow the whole thing up. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they managed to get them all. Deal with it. You don't want to. That way, they don't have to mess up the set.
The set that in universe is going to get blown up anyways
mm-hmm.
in a few minutes for other reasons that are bullshit, but we'll get there.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of, above the temple, they see a supernova is going off. The sun has gone nova. And it lines up with the temple, and sort of Chief and Apollo realize that it was the supernova was the eye of Jupiter.
This is stupid. This is stupid for a litany of reasons. Where do I start? Okay, so my initial thought does get covered by later dialogue, but the fact that they present it initially in such a way that I needed a later explanation, to me says that they botched this concept right off the bat. Because the instant he says like, oh, the nova is the eye of Jupiter, I just wrote down, fucking what? This thing that like is about to destroy the entire planet. That's the thing that a temple that will soon no longer exist is indicating? What fucking bullshit is this? Now, there will be an explanation covering for that, because what we will find out later is there was another nova like 40,000 years ago or something like that was also visible from this planet, but was not close enough to destroy it. And so what we have instead is a massive fucking coincidence that I'm sure will be written off as destiny. That they just so happen to be here in the tiny ass fucking window where another nova will also happen to make them realize that that's the thing, and that's what it means. And then they just got to figure out where that previous nova was. But the thing is, again, even if I bought into the destiny bullshit, which I don't want to because I hate it, I don't find it interesting as writing. I find it the least interesting way to do shit. But even if I bought into that, it's still really stupid to have things indicate that, like, this will lead the way because it's a temple based around a phenomenon that you can't see anymore. Because if we take the new nova out of the equation, then you have a temple indicating a thing that's no longer there. Because the previous nova that it was originally designed to indicate is fucking gone.
Maybe they didn't know there would be another nova.
Which is even dumber.
Well,
this is why I hate Destiny bullshit storylines.
Well, also, maybe the temple will have other importance.
In theory, it should be gone.
Well, there's a piece of it that we talk about later on.
I know. I love that you said that as if it was going to make me go, oh, yeah, right, and not just piss me off more.
Oh, I knew it would.
I know you knew.
I've been talking about this
bitch.
in Spoiler Minute for a while, that this was coming, and I knew you'd hate it. I said this back in season 2.
I hate Destiny. I hate prophecy. I'm not going to say I hate fate, because if you can get a sense of fate as like an overhanging thing, as opposed to an actual narrative, I hate narrative fate. I love a sense of fate, a sense of doom. That's actually part of why I will defend the Peter Jackson version of King Kong. I think that has an awesome sense of fate to it because it knows everyone already knows how the story goes. So like, that's about as close as I can come to swallowing this nonsense. But I hate destinies. I hate prophecies. I hate chosen ones. I hate authorial decree dressed up as in-universe explanation. Fuck off and find a better reason for shit to happen.
Yeah, I keep dancing on it. I'm going to, well, let me do this one. 2 chosen ones that I've liked. I agree with you, chosen one narratives I don't like. The 2 that I've kind of liked is, one was the Babylon 5 one. Because, spoiler for Babylon 5, the chosen one stuff there with, what's his face? I'm blanking on his name. Not Sinclair.
I was gonna say which one, because it kind of happened with both of them.
Yes, but with Sinclair especially, there's time travel mumbo jumbo that like justifies why there's a chosen one narrative about him. Because
there is that, and also in an odd way, the fact that unplanned he was no longer the main character when that happened also made it work better for me in an odd way.
Yeah.
Because it now meant that, yes, was he a chosen one? Yes. But the story is not literally entirely about him, because the actor,
he's just a guy,
and somebody else took over.
Yeah. No, it kind of works out weirdly that way. The other one that I like,
happy accident.
And I'm going to preface this. Fuck J.K. Rowling. I actually do kind of like how it's used in Harry Potter, unfortunately. Mainly because I do like the idea that it was like Voldemort chose it. The prophecy just existed, and it only worked and only mattered because Voldemort chose Harry and actually pursued it. That the actual believing in the prophecy thing made it kind of happen. And if he hadn't done anything about it,
that's just the standard self-fulfilling prophecy thing we've seen since fucking Oedipus.
It kind of works in like which I kind of like. I don't know. It still kind of works. Again, it's one of the very few things, like, going back to that series that I do kind of will praise at this point, but I did kind of like that.
Like, here's what I will grant. If you're going to do a chosen one, don't. But if you're going to, it is slightly more interesting to reveal that it's not a chosen one by cosmic decree. It's just because it's just because of other prophecy bullshit. It's not that you were special, it's that somebody else was an idiot.
Yes. Yes.
Like, that's a more interesting way to do it. I still don't like it.
Yeah, fair. Again, fuck J.K. Rowling. You should go fuck herself and don't support Harry Potter. But it was at least worth bringing up. Anyways, moving on. Boltar is with Head 6 in the temple with Deanna as well and everything and all of them. And Head 6 says, well, that's the eye, the sapphire blue shining light of a star, the little medallion that's in there. And Deanna is kind of going over to it, but Cavill says, you didn't come here for Earth, you came here for something else, didn't you? And over on CIC on the bridge of the Galactica, the supernova, we learned the supernova is going to destroy the planet in less than an hour. We then have a little scene where we see the Rapture with Starbuck and Dee flying away very badly, but it manages to get away. Which is a weird resolution of that plot line because I don't think we see who's flying it.
No, we don't.
Yeah, which is like we're not seeing Starbuck like even attempting. It feels like maybe there was a cut scene or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, back with Deanna in the temple. She says, this is my destiny, your favorite thing, to see what lies between life and death. And Cavill says, you can't look, you're not supposed to look on the eyes of the final five. And he says, sorry, Deanna, and he goes to like shoot her, but then Boltar shoots Cavill first. The temple lights.
Yeah, well, I will actually kind of give the show this. They actually like have a cute little moment with when Deanna and random Cavill are unplugging the bombs, and Baltar notices that somebody left behind like a holster with a gun when they evacuated.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a moment of looking to that. So because it accounts why he has a gun, because the Cylons wouldn't give him a gun.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that is a good bit there. But anyways, the temple lights up with the light of the supernova, and Deanna steps on the medallion. And she is in the opera house where we see final robed figures, 5 of them. She goes up to them and says, oh, is it really you?
2 of them, you can kind of see part of their faces, but I guarantee you it's fucking extras.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to comb through it.
Yeah. Well, Deanna looks at them and says, oh, forgive me. Forgive me. I had no idea. So she clearly recognizes one of them at least. Mm-hmm. But then Balder pulls her out of this and says she goes blind and she starts seizing and dies. And Baltar is like, am I a Cylon? I have to know. Tell me. I need to know. Did you see my face? Am I a Cylon? And then he steps on the medallion and says, God, let me know the truth before I die. But then the chief is there and hits him over the head, says, welcome home, Mr. President.
Yep.
So Baltar's back with the fleet.
Interesting to see what if they can come up with a reason to not just kill him. Because like, here's the thing: the Cylons debated it, and they did keep him around. But like, I need somebody to make the argument that like we should just kill him.
Oh, just you wait,
and not for revenge reasons, but just like logistically. What the fuck?
Just wait. That will be most of the rest of the season. So.
Oh god.
Actually,
just because I want something explored doesn't mean I need 10 episodes of it.
Actually, I think it's probably one of the better storylines of the show. But we'll get there. Anyways, we then see the Cylon fleet jumps away. The Nova starts to fry everything in the system. On the planet, the civilian ships get away just in time as the planet blows up. The Galactica jumps back to the civilian fleet once they all get on board. The Raptors arrive. They have Baltar hidden in a body bag to make sure no one sees him, which I kind of thought was smart. And
because again, people can and will kill him on sight.
Yes, very much. Yes. Anders sees Starbuck and goes to her and hugs her, and then Dee sees Apollo and Apollo goes and hugs her. And then Starbuck and Apollo kind of give each other glances as well. So love triangle persists. Athena also returns with Sharon and take her to Athena returns with Hera not Sharon. She's with Hera, and they take her to Doc Coddle right away. But then Caprica 6 comes out with her as well. So now Caprica 6 is with the fleet.
Yes, it immediately has guns trained on her and is escorted away.
So that's another status quo change here. But then we have a meeting with Adama, Ty, Roslin, is what I think Gata. But they basically are looking at the image of the medallion from the temple, and they said the medallion does look like the Nova. Maybe the 13th tribe had a vision of what to come, but as you said, Ty's like, maybe they just saw a Nova. When you've seen one Nova, you've seen them all. And they said, yes, there was another Nova, so many light years away that they could see from the planet, and it's sort of a road sign showing the direction they need to head next. So, onwards to Earth. But then we get Starbuck is resting with Hilo, and he's like, "Oh, I wonder if you had pictures of your old paintings from your apartment." And he sort of pulls out a picture of a painting that Starbuck drew, and it looks exactly like the medallion, the Nova medallion. And he asks her, like, "Where did you start drawing this pattern?" She says, I just like the pattern. It was something I doodled since I was a kid, and they built that temple 4,000 years ago." And she goes, "Oh, it's something the open said ahead of destiny that had already been written." So
Thanks, I hate it.
So I called this back way back in season 2 because I pointed out to remember the paintings, which is when I mentioned last episode when you're looking at the medallion. If that's why I said, did it look like anything?
What are we fucking doing, man? God damn it.
I will give something to be like, I thought that was very cool when I was a kid. Now, as an old, cynical adult now, I do not think so. As a kid, though, I was like, ooh, I remember that from back in that painting.
Look, here's what I will say. If I didn't hate Destiny, Prophecy, Chosen One bullshit, which I do, but if I didn't, I would admit that was well planted, decently ahead of this, and paid off a reasonable amount of time later. If you're going to do it, that is decently planted and paid off. Congratulations. Good for you. Thanks. I hate it.
Well, don't worry. We're going to get much more of it.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh, I'm waiting for that episode. It's going to be fun. Actually, I'm very curious because that episode is a good one in my memory. We'll see.
Yeah, the show was good in your memory too.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't like it as much. I don't hate it. Anyways, we then have the last scene of the episode where Deanna wakes up on the resurrection ship with Cavill. And she, like Cavill's like, you know the deal, long controlled breathing. And don't worry, you'll never have to go through this again. Basically says the decision wasn't easy. We've decided your model is fundamentally flawed. And Deanna says, it's not a flaw to question our betters. And he says, that's the problem. The messianic conviction that you're on a special mission to enlighten us. Look at the damage it's caused. And she said, I would do it again. And it's like, yes, we know. That's why we decided to box your line. You're going into cold storage. And she says, I saw them and you're going to see them one day, the final 5. And he turns her off and we pull back and we see all the other Deannas also being put into cold storage.
Yep.
So.
Which, I mean, I'm gonna miss Lucy Lawless.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not assuming she will never come back because cold storage is not executed, but like out of the story for a while, which is a shame because I really like her as a performer when they're not making her fuck Baltar. But no, it's interesting, and there is a certain weight to it. You get the sense that this was not something done lightly. That it was very much a case of something is wrong and we can't do nothing.
So we'll do this.
Yeah. No, interesting.
It's an interesting ending, and certainly will probably maybe have consequences. Who knows? We shall see. Well, we have gotten to the end of the episode, and I will do a spoiler minute. So, for the next 60 seconds, I'm going to talk spoilers. So, if you do not want spoilers, you can jump ahead 60 seconds, just like Vera is going to do in real time by giving me 60 seconds on the clock.
Oh, shit. My phone is not on me for once.
All right.
All right.
Cool.
And go.
So this is the big thing. I just talk about Cavill's motivation at the top. Because Cavill obviously doesn't want people to know the Final Five because he's the one that erased the memory of the Final Five from the other Cylons. So he clearly doesn't want anyone to figure that out. So I do like at the beginning with that knowledge, Cavill saying on the base star like we can't do anything. We're not after everything. It kind of lines up with his justification with wanting to prevent the Cylons from being able to see the Final Five, and knowing Deanna kind of wants that, he would make that argument, even though it would be against what his stated goals were beforehand. So that works as the beginning of motivation only if you know what comes later, and I don't think the show even knew that later. That being said, it also works too at the end of this episode with Cavill boxing Deanna because it's him telling her that, and he again does not want the Final Five information to get out, and so him sort of making the push for Deanna to get boxed lines up with him being the one to lead the charge on that. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Damn it. I had muted myself because I was crunching on the ice in my drink.
So good thing because I saw you put back. I didn't hear you say time, and I saw you put back on the headphones, and I was very close to saying something very revealing. So, well, what did you think of the episode?
Whatever.
Yeah, kind of my take on it too. It's a very whatever episode. To be fair, most people do not like this episode.
Look, if I cared more, I could sit here and speculate about who the member of the Final Five was that she recognized, because there's only so many characters that she actually shared scenes with. And I'm sure if I was more of a speculator, I could go back through and go like, okay, who do I know for certain that Deanna had scenes with? And then that narrows down the list. The problem is, one, I don't care. Two, I also don't trust this show to cheat and just have it be somebody that wouldn't fit that narrowed down definition anyways. I'm not saying that it will cheat. I'm just saying I don't trust it not to.
There was something I was gonna say. There's really only one character that I can think of that we can guarantee isn't a Cylon. It's really about it. I'm wondering if you can guess who it is.
Guarantee that they aren't. Based off what we currently know about the Cylons, I'd say there's a fair few that it couldn't be. However, there's the question that I was asking from the very first season that we still don't have a firm answer to. We know that none of the Cylons that we've seen so far, or at least let me back up. I'm not going to say we know. We're going to say there's been no indication that any of them are based off a template of an actual person who already existed. So if that ever turns out to be the case, where like the Cylons could go, ooh, that person will make a Cylon just like that person. If that ever turns out to be the case, then basically everybody's in play.
There is, yes, you are correct. And only one person cannot be. I can just tell it to you. It's just because it's based on Hilo. Hilo cannot be because
it would make no sense that they were trying to fool him for as long as they were.
Well, not just that, he's also the parent of a human Cylon baby, which
too.
would, like, if he turns out to be a Cylon, then it's just a Cylon baby, and it kind of negates the whole importance of the Messiah baby they're trying to make.
So there's one that, yes, Hilo is the one person that no matter what can't be. And then how big the pool is depends on the answer to that question, which again I've been asking since the first season. If the answer is no, they have never based one off an existing person, then there's a litany of people it can't be. It can't be either of the Apollos or Starbuck or Roslin or Ty. It could feasibly, like given the fact that we knew that Boomer was on the Galactica for like 2 years, like that does give us enough of a time frame to open up for, like, say, Gata or the Chief or any number of other folks. But people who we have enough information to know that like they have such long running confirmed histories, like we know what they were doing for way too far back in time. then unless that thing is true, then it can't be them. If that thing is true, it could be them. And then the question becomes, at what point did they get replaced? Because that is what will make or break it. Because, like, okay, in theory, I'm just running with it at this point.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
In theory, if
Fascinating.
say either Adama was a Cylon, whether or not I buy that depends 100% on where in the timeline they got replaced.
Mm-hmm.
Because the answer to that is your make or break. Because, like I said, the reason that I would otherwise call bullshit on all of them is they have too much history. They have too much known history. So if you replace them, you can't have done it too early. But if you also did it too recently, it's like, what the fuck are we even doing here?
Mm-hmm.
Like that undermines the whole long-term infiltration, they were there the whole time idea, which theoretically this is meant to be banking on. So like I've said, like, I'm also going to say there's no way it's Baltar. If for no other reason than there is literally nothing interesting that comes out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Him questioning it has actually been interesting. Like, him grappling with that and his shifting sense of what he'd even prefer it to be has been interesting. Him actually being one is like no fucking point. It's, boy, weird comparison that has gotten nicher as time has gone on. But like, it's the same reason back when the Zygon two-parter on Doctor Who happened,
Mm-hmm.
Zygon Invasion and Zygon Inversion. And there was this question as to, oh boy, I don't have the time to fully explain this if you don't know these episodes. But
basically, shapeshifters turn out are pretending to be human, and the episode ends, spoiler, with erasing the memory of the shapeshifter of if they were the human or the doppelganger.
Yes, but most specifically has to do with the character of Osgood, because we find out that there is, for a while, have been two versions of this one person. One a Zygon, one a human. And the question, and at one point we saw one of them die, and then later, gets replaced. And the question that the fandom does not ask anymore, but asked for a time, was which one got killed by Missy? Was it the human or was it the Zygon? And I have always said it has to be the Zygon, because thematically, otherwise it makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole idea with Osgood is, for reasons I don't feel like explaining, one has to be human, one has to be Zygon. If they are both Zygons, it defeats the narrative thematic purpose of the entire setup. So since the new one coming to replace the dead one is a Zygon, the one that died has to have been a Zygon, because otherwise, narratively and thematically, it doesn't work. Logistically, sure, but I don't care about logistics if you fucked your theming. Mm-hmm. So that's sort of where I'm at with Baltar. There's no interesting themes that come out of him being a Cylon.
Yeah, well, we shall see at some point. Who knows when it'll happen? Who knows? Who knows? That's a Doctor Who reference.
Yes, it is.
Anyways, anything else, Vera?
Nah.
All right. Well, with that said, it's time for stuff.
Well, you can find my stuff by looking for Council of Geeks. Patreon pays the bills, enables me to do this as my living. Any additional help would be greatly appreciated. Timing wise, this is a good time for me to mention that it'll be not the weekend immediately following this, but the one after that. I will be at Gallifrey 1 in Los Angeles, which is a Doctor Who convention.
Oh, wait, when are you going to be here?
I'll be arriving, I think, Thursday the 5th.
5th? Okay, good to know. Because then we can hang out.
Yeah. So I'll be in Los Angeles. I'm not going to say what I was just going to say. So never mind that. But I'll be in the area. If you're at the con, definitely say hi. If you don't already have tickets to the con, they're probably sold out. But if you're going to be there, say hi. I'd appreciate it. So, Council of Geeks, the main thing that the Patreon funds is the Council of Geeks YouTube channel. New videos every Saturday.
They are not. You can get tickets, by the way, everyone. Just
Oh,
to say. Yeah.
well, at the time we're talking,
Yeah.
2 weeks from now when this goes out, who the hell knows?
knows? Yeah.
But it's at least possible. So, if I have my timing right, next episode to come out next on the main channel will either be about the villains of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, or it'll be my ranking of every episode of Game Changer from the streaming service Dropout.
Fun.
That's the main channel. There's also the Break Room of Geeks, which is my secondary channel where I talk about whatever I have watched, played, listened to, or read lately. There is also a Blue Sky account where you can follow Council of Geeks. I post sporadically. That's the geeky stuff. Of course, there's also the spicy stuff.
Also the spicy stuff.
And for that, you look for Vera Wild. Wild is spelled W-Y-L-D-E.
Y-L-D-E.
And you can find increasingly spicy content.
Increasingly spicy content.
On YouTube.
YouTube. TikTok. Orn. You can find me at Jesse Gender on YouTube, where I do video essay style of stuff. By the time you're listening to this, my video on the Ferengi should be out that I've been hyping up for forever. Check that out. I will also have a video that will have come out by then, probably too, where I'm venting about the bullshit reactionary narrative to Starfleet Academy. So you can check that video out. I am also on the secondary channel, Jesse Gender After Dark, where I do news, reviews, and reactions, including my review of Starfleet Academy, so you can check out that over there. Then I am also on... I might also review Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the Game of Thrones show that's coming out next week. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for it. I actually really like the stories, and it is a Game of Thrones show actually focused on the common folks, which I really kind of like.
I mean, nice in theory. I guess I realized after 2 seasons of House of the Dragon, I really don't give a shit anymore.
Fair enough. Well, I personally really like the stories of Dunk and Egg, especially the first one. It's really good, so I'm excited for it. Could be bad, but I like it. I'm excited for it. Could be our Andor, could be the final season. Who the hell knows of Game of Thrones? Anyways, you can check out my reviews over there. I am also on Nebula, the streaming service that houses my movie Identities, as well as the upcoming show Subliminal that I directed an episode of. I am also on Patreon that helps pay my bills. Please support me over there. I am also on Blue Sky and Instagram. Anything else, Vera?
You just made me think of this random thing that I find kind of funny. So I don't know if you heard this, but apparently, God, why can't I think of his name? The guy who played Jon Snow.
Kit Harington?
Kit Harington. Apparently he was in rehab around the time that the 8th season aired. So he's only recently found out that everybody hates it.
That's really funny.
And apparently he's kind of pissed off at that.
Oh, you sweet summer child.
It's just weird hearing an actor be butthurt about the reaction to something that aired that long ago, because he only just found out that everyone hates it.
I mean, I generally kind of liked Kit Harington, but now I'm on the fuck 'em train because he was begging for a role in the new Harry Potter show.
Oh, eat shit, dude.
Yeah, no, he was literally going, I would really love a role in the Harry Potter show. I'll be just an extra, just like a teacher in the background. I would love to be on it. So
yeah,
he can go fuck himself. Yeah, he can go fuck himself. So yeah, feel bad about it. I don't give a shit. I'm glad you feel bad about it. Glad you're out of rehab, but I'm glad you feel bad about it. Anyways, that's everything. Anything else?
Nah.
All right. I hope y'all live long and prosper.
Be seeing you.